Hello there and welcome, or perhaps welcome back to this channel, Mr. TraveLux. My name is Addison. I'm the founder and CEO of Reliant Destinations and MyCaribbeanLuxury.com. It's great to have you on this channel today, and here today we're talking about something that's very interesting. We're talking about a specific resort and something even more particular, the top 10 questions asked. Today, this video is about Sandals Royal Curaçao. It's a gorgeous resort. It's one of the newest of the Sandals resorts, and we're going to dive into those top 10 questions that our clients often ask us. So you'll have all that information and value right here for you to grab. Before we dive in, I want to encourage you to reach out for any questions you have. My team and I at Reliant Destinations, we offer 100% complimentary concierge services, helping you plan that perfect stay to tropical paradise. You can reach out hello@ReliantDestinations.com. Again, that's hello@ReliantDestinations.com. We always say if you aren't reaching out, you might be missing out. So if you want to make sure you have the best service and of course the best experience with the best value and best deal overall, we're here to make sure that you get that. Also, on our website, MyCaribbeanLuxury.com, there is a new tool on there, a very cool quiz where you can simply answer a few questions and get an instant result as to which property best suits your vibe. So if you're someone that's not sure exactly which property is best suited for your ideal vacation, that's something which I definitely recommend you to try. But for now, let's go ahead and dive straight into this video, the top 10 questions we're most frequently asked about Sandals Royal Curaçao. Let's go. Question number one is, what makes this resort unique? Is there something special in terms of culture, topography? Okay, so I love this question because Sandals Royal Curaçao is so different to the other resorts. Sandals Royal Curaçao, of course, on the island of Curacao, is actually a Dutch island. It is the only Dutch-speaking island in the Caribbean. So in the Caribbean, you'll see a lot of regional dialects in different islands. For example, in Jamaica, of course, you have patois. You'll see some other French dialects throughout the Caribbean, and you'll also see several Spanish-speaking Caribbean islands. But for a Dutch-speaking island, this is very unique. Being a Dutch island, this also gives a very unique atmosphere because it means that a lot of the residents here of Curacao, and of course a lot of the hospitality workers, are actually from the EU, because with EU visa privileges, it's very easy to come work, stay, and live here on the island of Curacao. If you have been to the Netherlands before or that part of Europe, you'll know that one of the key trademarks of that area is the relaxed nature. And you'll definitely experience this Dutch relaxation here on the island. So in Curacao, you get the best of both worlds. You get that Dutch relaxed vibe and the Caribbean island time of just relaxing and enjoying. Of course, Dutch culture, it does touch all the different areas on this island. You'll see it in the architecture, you'll see it in the culture, and you'll definitely see a lot of Dutch features, of course, in the Sandals Resort itself. Question number two. What is the difference between the 𝗼𝗏 and the Curaçao areas? Okay, so this is a question we get sometimes. We'll go ahead and just answer it in this video. So the 𝗼𝗏 area is going to be a seaside area that consists of on the water beachfront to the maximum villas. And so these are private villas with very large private pools that have infinity glass. You can sit there, put your arms to the side of it, and just watch the sunset and the world go by there right along the beach. So that's going to be the 𝗼𝗏 area. And those are very beautiful, gorgeous villas. In terms of Curaçao Island, that's not going to be positioned too far from this, but the Curaçao Island is another different collection of private butler villas that actually has its own private pool in the middle shared between these villas, and it forms a heart shape. It's a really cool design. So it forms a heart shape, and in the middle of it, it has its own little private heart island. And so that's something which is very different, but it's very private and very romantic and has its own different vibe to it. So they're both very unique. They both come with a top tier butler service, but it's something where each of those is going to offer a little bit of a different experience. Number three, how does the Mini Cooper experience work? Okay, so There's a couple of different things you might be referring to with this. So first, let's talk about this. So there is a really awesome Mini Cooper that is essentially included in your stay for your usage when you are in the top 2 suites of this resort. So if you're staying in the 𝗷𝗏 Seaside villas that we talked about, or in that Curacao Island in one of those Butler villas, and either one of those, the guests have access to an open top, amazing convertible Mini Cooper, which you can drive and experience the island. And this is an island which, honestly, in my opinion, is the safest island in the Caribbean. Can things happen? Of course, anywhere in the world. But in terms of Caribbean safety, I feel very safe there. My clients have historically felt safe there, and I have no issue going off resort or even suggesting that others do as well. And so that's a great experience to go and really enjoy this island in the open air. So there is that. There's also the opportunity to rent some Mini Coopers if you wish to do that, but there's a lot of other options as well. I would say one of the great ways to experience this island is on an island routes adventure with ATV tours, and there's also some Jeep tours and things like that. So there's a lot of different open air vehicular experiences that you can use to experience Curacao. But just know that the Mini Coopers, in terms of an inclusion, is a really cool, unique inclusion for the top 2 room categories here at this resort. Number 4 is, somebody said something about a hybrid European culinary flair. What do they mean? Okay, so at this resort, you will find a lot of the other restaurant types that you have at Sandals. So you will have your Italian, you'll have your steak, all of that. But then you also have some European specific restaurants that we don't see elsewhere, particularly in terms of the redesignated vibe of some of the traditional offerings. So for example, when it comes to coffee, one of the things that we see all across the Sandals resorts is the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is going to be the French kind of cafe, traditional, where you get your coffee, maybe a scoop of ice cream. That's what you have in most of the Sandals resorts. However, as a Dutch island, really taking full advantage of the culture, there's something that's very unique here. A great example would be the coffee shop called 𝗏𝗏𝗏 there, which of course is giving a nod to the canals of Dutch culture, which, by the way, this island as well has canals, and that's something very unique to the Caribbean. So just as Amsterdam would have, you can experience some of that vibe here in the Caribbean also. At 𝗏𝗏𝗏 though, you're going to have the ability to sample some Dutch delicacies. If you've never tried a stroopwafel before, oh my goodness, you'll be in heaven. So you can try those. You can try some other freshly made pastries there. You can also try some cheese. There's a dedicated wine bar, some Dutch chocolate. So the ability to sample things in a very both local and international way at the same time is very cool and is very unique. And that's something which they've done a great job at this resort. So if you are someone that likes to experience that international fusion of culture and culinary scenes, you can find that 100% at Sandals Royal Curaçao. Number 5. So somebody asked me the other day, so tell me, are the Butler suites all together, like centralized, or are they spread out? Okay, so they are going to be spread out. So of course you do have along the front of the beach those 𝗷𝗏 Seaside Butler villas we talked about, right? But also you're going to have spread in different parts of the resort Butler suites, which I think that's a really great thing, because that means that in different parts of the resort, if you're someone that loves a certain angle, or you're someone that really wants to be maybe close to the food trucks, yes, or any particular preference in general, you can choose a room category in that area. Of course, in terms of views as well, it allows for a lot of different views. You have your ocean front, beach front, ocean view, pool view, all different types of views that you can choose from by having the different type of Butler suites spread equally throughout the resort. Number 6, how does the terrain differ from some other Caribbean islands? So honestly, every island has different topography. Some of the islands in the Caribbean we see are very mountainous. We have something, for example, like the Piton Mountains in St. Lucia. We also have more flat landscape as well that we see. So what do we see here? Okay, so we're going to see a collection of both flat landscape, mostly in the city area, and then we'll also see some nice elevation and some great views beyond that. So there's actually a plateau that is just a short distance behind the Sandals Resort. In fact, here in this screen here, you can see a nice drone footage I have with in the background, so you can see how the elevation rises up beyond the resort. The resort itself, however, is flat, and that's something which is great about this resort. It's very easy to access, even though it is quite a large resort. With the exception of the very furthest end of the beach, where it's still rather flat. It just depends on if you're going to the sides, which side of the beach you're going on there. The vast majority of this property is very, very, very easily accessible. So that's something where you're not having to take a lot of different mountains and hills. There are just a couple of little hilly areas in the very outskirts of the resort, but overall, all the main areas is quite flat and very easy to navigate. Number 7 is about diving, and the question is whether the dive sites are beginner friendly or not. And so I would say here, absolutely. So the dive sites are absolutely beginner friendly. A lot of them, there are some shallow dives available and also some deeper dives as well. For example, for those that don't want to go all the way on a dive, even just along the beach there, this resort actually has the most aquatic life that comes up against the beach that I've seen of any of the other Sandals or Beaches properties. So for example, when I'm walking along the beach there, the number of small fish that you see, I haven't seen that many fish anywhere else in any of the other Sandals and Beaches property. And so the actual aqua life here is quite gorgeous, quite beautiful. And the further you get out, the more vibrant it becomes as well. So for diving, snorkeling, and also just walking along the beach, definitely a lot of great vibes there to be had. Number 8 is, how does tours and transfers work on the island? Okay, so in terms of transfers, everyone does get an included transfer. So from the airport to the resort, that's no problem. You get that included with your stay. In terms of excursions, Sandals has an official partner, the same partner across the whole Caribbean. It's a fellow Jamaican-based company called Island Ruse Excursions. I love this company. I've been on most of their excursions, and I have to say that this company, it's time tested, it's been vetted, it's proven. And so in terms of safety and in terms of quality for the best experiences, they've proven that over and over again. So in terms of which ones are the most popular, well, of course, it depends on the person. But as I mentioned earlier, some of the open air things like ATV tours, some of the city walk, and also like Jeep expeditions, those are things which people typically gravitate to here at this destination. We always do recommend that people are pre-booking those. It's just best practice to make sure you get what time and what day you want, and make sure you don't have availability issues. But you can book whatever's left. You can book that at the Island Ruse desk there in the resort itself. Number 9 is there anything that's exclusively unique to this resort? And I'm gonna say yes, yes, yes. So there is a couple of things I'm going to get to in the next question here, but on this one, what I'm going to say is Sandals Royal Curaçao has something called the Dine Out program. And this is part of Sandals' commitment to the experience and some of the push towards the experiential. And so this is a $250 Dine Out credit that is for guests who are staying 7 nights or longer in a Butler category suite, or any guest who's staying 7 nights or longer and happens to be a Diamond or higher Sandals Select guest member. So those are the repeat loyal guests. And so that's something there which for a lot of people is a reason enough to try a Butler suite. So with this Dine Out credit, there are a number of very, very high quality restaurants on the island which are partnered with Sandals Resorts. And you can go there and you can experience what these local authentic flair restaurants have to offer. And for those who love to get out of the resort and experience something more and something in a very special way, what better way to do that than using that Dine Out credit? So that's something which is very unique here. We're seeing it come to a couple of other resorts here soon as well. So I wouldn't say it's going to be exclusive to this property, but of course, in terms of the restaurant selection there and this feature, the way it's set up, you know, right now, this is the property to come to really maximize that feature. And the final question, number 10, is a question that I get directed to me a lot, which is, what is my favorite feature at Sandals Royal Curaçao? Okay, so that's gonna be a tie between two things because I cannot break this tie. So first is gonna be the food truck pavilion. There is a food truck pavilion here, which finally is covered. When it first started out, it wasn't covered, and being that it is the Caribbean, covered is always great when possible. So there are 3 food trucks here and a bar that are all positioned together, and wow, absolutely wow. So I am a foodie, and so the options here, I love the ability to get small plates and try different things. So whether you want to go the Asian food route, or if you want more of a hybrid European route, you can have all of that together. And so that's something here where I've had people come to this resort explicitly to choose this feature. And for me, if I'm thinking about where I want to go for my own personal stay, anywhere that has a good combination of food trucks definitely adds some bonus points to my list. And so if you are someone that likes to try street food, likes to try food trucks, and doesn't want to have to go and drag yourself into a restaurant in the middle of the day, well, you'll definitely find that this feature is likely to suit you at Sandals Royal Curaçao. Now, I did say I was breaking a tie, so the other feature is going to be the Dutch bikes. We talked about that this is a Dutch island, right? And so being a Dutch island, what better way to bring some more of the cultural elements of the Netherlands into this resort than cycling? So you will find all over the resort, you'll find Dutch bikes. You just hop on one and you go wherever you want. And there's bike racks everywhere, or they have kick pedal stands if you want to park in front of your villa. And so these bikes are a great way to get around the resort, a great way to enjoy some recreation in the open air breeze, and of course, a great way to participate in this wonderful fusion culture that you can see really exclusively at this resort. So there you have it. This has been the top 10 most frequently asked questions we get about Sandals Royal Curaçao. Thank you so much for stopping by this video. It's been a pleasure having you here today. Of course, any questions you have, as we mentioned before, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help. That's hello@reliantdestinations.com. Again, hello@reliantdestinations.com. Please do remember to like this video and subscribe for endless more content about sandals and beaches. I hope you get to experience this property one day, and if not, one of the other gorgeous, stunning properties across Sandals and Beaches resorts. We'll see you very soon. Take care.